Yo, welcome back to the Hero Brew Podcast. Today we're talking about all of our favorite Avengers movies. We made you guys a promise on the last podcast episode. And so, here we are. We got two of our guests featured on this episode right now. We have Moses. Moses, you want to introduce yourself real quick, dude?
What up? I'm Moses, aka Big Cali Mo on everything social-wise, but just friends with the boys for quite a bit. I'm usually in the chat, but, had to show face today.
Sick, dude. And then we also have Jeremy Figure It Out, dude. Introduce yourself, buddy.
What's up, baby? You know it's me, Jeremy Figurato, Fiorito, Babadio, aka Chunky Tuesday, aka Chunk.tv. I'm your mom's best friend and your grandma's babysitter. We're here on the pod. These are my dogs. These guys are absolute legends. Hashtag Hero Brew till I'm gone. Hashtag Hero Brew till I'm out. Stand on it. What's up? We here.
I love it. Obviously, I'm Max Harakat. Have my co-host Cameron. I don't know where he's at on the camera, but
What's
over
up,
there
guys?
to the left.
What's up?
And
Cam
then
here.
above
Super,
me
super
we have.
Cam.
And then above we have Austin Cole. Cam, where can we find you at, buddy? Just start it out, dude.
Yeah, IG Cameron2428, X formerly known as Twitter, Oglesby2428, and then obviously, check out our YouTube channel, the Hero Brew Podcast.
Sick. How about you, Austin?
You can find me on Instagram at AustinCoil23, and since I messed up with my X profile, you can find me on X at AustinCoil.
Sick. I'm pumped for this episode. Like I said, this episode's gonna be about our favorite Avengers movies. We're gonna have some discussions and stuff, and you guys ready for it? You boys ready for it?
Let's get it started.
All right.
Let's
so
go.
I decided to do a little something different. We're gonna start this episode with a little rapid fire segment. Not our hot takes yet, but a little rapid fire. So here we go. I'm gonna ask the first one. It's gonna be super quick. All right, this or that. All right, Avengers edition. Infinity War or Endgame?
Infinity War.
Moses.
Infinity War.
Oh, okay,
Infinity
yeah.
War.
No, you can. Whoever wants to go first,
I
go
didn't know
for
we
it.
were shouting it out.
Yeah, go for it. Moses, Infinity War, Endgame, real quick.
I'm going to go Infinity War.
Okay, Austin, you're up next, dude.
Infinity War, without a doubt.
Okay, Jeremy,
Infinity War.
Cameron.
100% Infinity War.
I agree. I think Infinity War is the better movie.
Yes, sir.
Without a doubt. Okay, this is where we start getting interesting, okay? We're going to be talking about some suits, all right? It's not what you think, though. It's going to be kind of this and there. But Hulkbuster or the Iron Spider suit?
Ooh, Iron Spider
Whoa.
suit.
Okay. That's crazy. So the Iron Spider suit from Infinity War, correct?
Yeah.
Sick.
That Tony gave him when they were in space or they were going into space, right?
Yeah. Pretty cool scene, dude. Awesome. Why did you pick that, though, Moses?
I mean, I don't know. I thought, while watching the movie, I was like, is he going to, die? Like, what is happening? And then, he just, got that suit, saved his life type. And I just, it was just cool. I think it was more impactful than, Hulk getting, that suit. I don't know.
Okay. Sick. Austin. Iron Spider or Hulkbuster, dude?
I mean, I'm biased.
We could explain it, by the way, all at the end, too.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
biased. I'd probably say Iron Spider.
Sick. Jeremy?
I'm going to say Hulkbuster.
Solid take.
Hulkbuster.
Cameron?
I'm also saying Hulkbuster, but specifically, even though it's the same suit, but Age of Ultron, Hulkbuster.
Yeah, that's the only one in the Avengers movie that's been shown.
Yeah.
Right.
I also agree. I think Hulkbuster, and we'll just go into our little first topic right there. I think the scene of Hulk just getting super angry, getting messed up by Wanda in Age of Ultron, and then Tony Stark just had that what was it? Was it Victoria?
Victoria, yes.
Yeah, Victoria.
Was it Victoria? I'm not too
No,
sure. I think
Veronica.
Veronica, that's what it was.
Veronica.
Yeah, Veronica.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good catch,
Veronica,
Cam.
yes.
Right.
When he said that, I was like, he's like, Veronica, do the thing or whatever. I was like, oh, let's go. And it was just so dope. It was so dope. To me, I like one of my favorite scenes was when he was punching him. He's like, stop, we can handle this, So I thought that was sick. But who wants to explain their take? Moses, you go first, buddy.
I was just saying, I think I touched on it earlier, but yeah, when I watched that was in Infinity War, first of all, he shouldn't have even been there. He's a fucking child. Excuse my language, but he's a kid. And
Agree.
he shouldn't have
Agree.
been there. And that was the thing, just go home. He wanted him to go home. He shouldn't have gone home. And to me, like even like at the very end of the movie, like spoilers, like Peter got snapped, so it's like like he should just gone home. So it's like I
Spoiler
just
alert.
resonate with that.
Spoiler alert! Crazy spoiler.
I just resonate with that a little bit more.
Yeah,
Like just go home, but he didn't listen. So
I get it. Awesome.
Do you want me to just turn around and like show you?
Spider-Man collection
Like
in the back.
whole this shelf of Spider-Man stuff. No, I mean like that's a big reason for sure, but I think I agree with like what Moses was saying. Like I'm not discrediting the Hulkbuster suit at all. I think it's dope. Like it's super sick. I completely understand why you guys would pick that. I think for me, I just enjoyed seeing the intro to it, like how Moses was talking about, he's falling off the ship and it catches him and brings him back to like pull him back up to the battle, and keeping him into it, and like just seeing, how much like I don't know, like it's hard to explain for sure, but I think that one of the parts that really gets me is towards the end as well. Like when he is getting snapped, you can tell that he fades out, like it takes a little bit longer. And I think that is a representation of like how the suit is trying to like help in that situation, so it like slows it down. That's just my take on it. And you see him like feeling the pain. He's like, I don't feel good, whereas everyone else was just kind of like, see you later. I think that really, played a lot into my choice for, why I like that suit better. It's sad, but it's like, it shows that the suit's going to fight till the end too. So
Yeah.
I think
Jeremy, go
I think
ahead.
for me, sorry to cut you off. I
No,
think
you
for
didn't.
me, the reason I chose Hulkbuster is because one, you're watching Iron Man fight the Hulk. That is the thing that's keeping him equipped for that sick fight scene. And it's like, I love the Iron Spider. I genuinely, and this is me, like, I don't know if this is a hot take or anything like that, I don't see any comparison in the sense. Like, I just think you have two different aspects to it. Like, you have the Iron Spider where it's like, yeah, he's, it saves Peter and it does that. But it's like, okay, it's another Spider-Man suit. This is Iron Man fighting the Hulk in a big metal casing. And it's like, I don't know. And I even compare it to, I can't remember what model it is, because if you can correct me if I'm wrong, with the suit that Banner's wearing in Wakanda during Infinity War, is that's also
the same
considered
one.
the Hulkbuster
It's
suit.
the
Yeah.
same
It's
suit.
the
To
same
see,
one.
to see even like, I figured, I don't want to make sure, I don't want to be wrong, I don't want to get shot on Twitter. But going from that movie to going to seeing Bruce Banner not being able to Hulk out and having to be in the Hulkbuster suit to even be considered like a part of the fight, that's just, I think the suit just speaks volumes into that sense, because it's like it just has moved between two iconic characters, but also is super dope. So
No, yeah. Well, the reason I did it was because the comparison was Tony Stark was involved in,
right.
wait, that is true,
right, and
It's
how
that.
he kind of like launched it was super
Mhm.
similar, right? Obviously, like the Hulkbuster came down in like one giant pod, right, or like multiple like pods. It came in like different parts.
Yeah,
So I thought that was like pretty sick, Obviously, when he had to like, when his arm got ripped off, he just was like, "Hey, I need another arm," and I was like, sick. But how about you, Cameron?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm choosing Hulkbuster. I'm not gonna dog on the Iron Spider like Jeremy just did.
Whoa.
But to be fair, Peter was also encased in a metal suit, and he fought Thanos, and Thanos beat the Hulk. So I'm just saying. But
Yes, yeah,
I'll take
very
that.
true.
I'll take that.
The reason I'm choosing Hulkbuster is kind of what you guys all said already, but I think it was so dope when he had the suit on and the helmet, and then like his HUD display, like you could see it expand inside when it goes from like his normal blue and it goes to orange. I
Yeah,
thought that was pretty sick.
Right.
But and like how you said when he was doing the super fast punches, I just thought it was hilarious when Hulk spits a tooth out, and you could tell Tony was just so scared. But it's
He was-
also
yeah,
like, "I'm
dude, I
sorry."
love that part. He was like, "I'm so sorry." And I was like,
But-
"Dang."
it's kind of our only look, kind of like, because I don't think it's ever been confirmed, but that was like our first look at the Gray Hulk.
Yeah,
Like how there is in
like-
comics.
yeah. I don't know if it was confirmed, but I could see that.
You could tell like in that opening scene when he's like first headed towards the city how
Right.
gray he looked.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But
Yeah, I thought it was sick. I think don't get me wrong, I love the Iron Spider suit. I
Mhm.
loved it because like in that scene when he's going up to space, it shows all the mistakes Tony has made prior
Right.
to Infinity War to like protect his friends or whatever. So like his legs were like, you know, attached so he could get the booster. Peter, obviously, like not being able to breathe, you know, he was able to like do that. Obviously, the claws,
Yeah,
the
it's
claws
awesome.
were sick.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, it was super dope. I thought that was super sick. But
Yeah.
I kind of just put it in there just because I wanted to see the comparison of like how Tony Stark he was a part of both. You know, he heavily inspired. Obviously, he made the Iron Spider suit.
I don't hate the
Spider.
Iron Spider suit. I do
You
not
sound
hate
like you
that
do.
suit. I don't hate that suit.
Kinda
I just like
sounded like you did,
Hulkbuster
bro.
more.
Just
I
a
like
little bit,
Hulkbuster
just a little
more.
bit.
Okay, my fault.
Kind
Hey,
of sounded like
Sharon,
you
I'm
did.
sorry. I'm sorry. My fault.
All right, we're gonna shift the focus a little bit from costumes to like battles. So I have the Wakanda battle or the Wakanda battle from Infinity War or the New York battle from Avengers 1. Moses, go ahead, dude. You're starting off. We'll just keep going in a circle.
Wait, I need like refreshment. You said Avengers 1.
The New York battle. So the battle of
Okay,
New York
battle. Yeah.
with
And
the
then the second one was what?
Chitauri. And then the second one was Infinity War, the Wakanda battle. So when like Thanos' like army. Remember, we watched it in the theaters together, Moses.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, you're comparing like two Avenger movies, is that right?
Comparing the
Yeah,
fight scenes.
which
like,
one's better?
Which one's
Yeah.
better? Like which
Yeah,
fight?
Definitely Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. How about you, Austin?
Yeah, the Wakanda battle scene for sure. For me.
Okay.
The New York.
Battle of New York. Okay. That's crazy, but okay. You're Avengers 1 Glazer, aren't you?
I love Avengers 1, bro. Avengers
That's
1.
crazy.
I was getting to my take.
Cameron?
I'm gonna say Battle of Wakanda.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna also say the battle of Wakanda, just because I think the Wakanda battle was just it was dope. You know, it was
Yeah.
super sick. Obviously, like I was super excited to see in the trailer for Infinity War it showed like the Hulk as the Hulk. Obviously, they didn't want to show like him being the Hulk.
And then like everyone was there behind Cap too, right? Or
Yeah,
like,
and
they
it was,
showed.
well, you had freaking T'Challa, Black
Cap
Panther,
running.
and Cap running at the same
Side
time.
by side,
And I
yeah.
was like, this is sick. And then you have like obviously you have T'Challa saying, "Hey, let's like lower the guards down," because he you know, it was all strategy based, and I kind of
Right.
like that. It was like very more organized, like they knew what they were doing.
Right.
Dude, and because
Obviously,
like
you have
that first Infinity War trailer, it ended with like that final running scene, like you guys said, which just I thought
it was
amazing.
super sick.
Didn't mean
It
to
was
cut you
super
off,
sick.
my
And then
bad.
you have obviously you have Thor coming in with Stormbreaker.
Heck yeah.
The best Thor suit. Everything was amazing. I was like, wow. But yeah, I just liked it better. I thought it was I'm not an Avengers 1 like super fan. I like the movie, don't get me wrong. It's just the Battle of New York seemed like I feel like a lot of people died in the Wakandan battle, but like New York was destroyed, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Horribly.
no one really said it. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? There's really nothing like crazy happening.
Didn't Tony want to get like shawarma after he's like, oh, let's go get shawarma.
Yeah,
Like,
shawarma scene.
or is that-
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's like, we should just go get shawarmas. I'm like,
Yeah, absolutely.
and they kind of downplayed it. Like, I forgot what was it in Endgame. You had Rocket saying like, you know, I don't know if this was like it might have been a deleted scene actually, but it was in the deleted scene where Rocket says, "You guys had trouble fighting the Chitauri," you know, like.
Right.
I think
basically-
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it does show the progress that the Avengers have, obviously, but you didn't have Hawkeye at all in Infinity War either. That was their biggest. That's why they lost. They didn't have Hawkeye. Honestly,
facts.
if they had him,
Right.
they would have won.
I think
But-
Rocket made it seem like the Chitauri were like the joke of like alien groups in space. Like they're like the worst army out of all of them.
Yeah, they were like the easiest army to beat. Like
Yeah.
the five freaking Guardians could have handled all of them. You know,
That's facts.
Right,
That's
right.
facts. I'll speak on that
But
too.
I mean, yeah, that's what I have for that. And then I'll say this one before our last one. I have two more, so super easy. This should be an easy one. Quicksilver or Scarlet Witch?
What does that mean? Like,
Like who do you like better, Quicksilver or Scarlet Witch? We'll say in Age of Ultron, obviously, and then you have you have Scarlet Witch in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's tough. Like, are we saying from that same
It's
movie?
kind of tough.
Because if we're talking
we could do Age of Ultron.
In
Okay.
that movie?
I got my answer.
I got mine for just
Yeah.
that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, just that
Yeah.
movie, 100%.
Well, yeah, just for that. I mean, we could do both. We could do the whole Infinity Saga part where they're in, and I still think my answer is actually the same. So, wow, Austin, yeah, let's do it. Let's hear it out. Let's just do both of them. Let's just do the whole Infinity Saga. Who do you like better?
Me?
Yeah, you go first, dude.
The
I
whole
saw
Infinity Saga, Scarlet Witch is better, but like in Age of Ultron, I thought Pietro had a great performance. That's
Yeah.
just me.
Yeah.
I thought that this scene where he's like, didn't see that one coming, like,
Crazy.
that scene alone put him over the top of, Scarlet Witch in that movie. But I mean, it's kind of like hard to say.
It's hard because he didn't have a lot of screen time compared to Scarlet Witches. But
Yeah.
How about you, Moses?
Obviously Scarlet Witch, but I was gonna say like that, like how Austin was talking about, like, oh, you didn't see that coming, like that, like kind of made like what broke Scarlet Witch, like, but it made her into that character that like we kind of love as a whole, like, so like without, what's the saying, like he ran so she could walk. I don't know, but yeah, I'd
Yeah,
say
no, I
Scarlet
agree.
Witch.
No pun intended.
How about you, Jer?
It's so difficult because it's so hard to think about, because in the movie...
We're just doing Avengers movies. I know we thought Civil
Yeah.
War was Avengers movie, right?
I'm not thinking
But-
about that, though. I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking more so of, like, okay, yes, didn't see that one coming. Like, yeah, that shit hit my heart. Like, fuck, saved my boy Jeremy Renner's life from a Jeremy to a Jeremy. But it's like, that one hit. But I think about it, and I'm like, when she falls to her knees in Age of Ultron, and like all the robots explode, and then when her and Vision, when she's telling Vision not to go back and that they could just stay before they get attacked, and Cap shows up, it's like, bro, because like I get it with the emotional connection, but I am gonna have to choose Scarlet Witch because I love Pietro. I think Pietro's great. I'm not gonna lie. No, Cap, no.
I hella disagree with you.
I'll take a
But
disagreement.
it's
That's what
okay.
we're here for. But I like Pietro a lot, but I just think that from the emotional standpoint and everything with like between the two, if I'm weighing out the balance, I love them both, but I will have to choose Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
For the whole thing.
Cameron?
Jeremy literally took the words out of my mouth. I'm saying Scarlet Witch for all, and what gets me is the same
Cameron,
scene,
I thought we were friends.
the same scene where she falls to her knees and just destroys all of the Ultron bots around her.
What causes that though?
Cameron,
I know.
Cameron, let me tell you.
I'm not
I want to
saying
have another
Quicksilver is
hot
bad.
take with you.
I'm not saying Quicksilver's bad. I love Pietro.
No,
I
Pietro's
wish
great.
we could have had him in more, but I'm saying Scarlet Witch.
We might.
Right.
We
might.
might. And no, I'm not talking Ralph Boner. I want the other one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Pietro. Overall, I think it was better. His one-liners in Age of Ultron
Oh yeah.
were
Yeah.
better than anything that Scarlet Witch did in the
Right.
Infinity Saga to me. I think after the Infinity Saga, Scarlet Witch became one of my favorites. She had one of my favorite scenes is from Endgame when she's like you took everything I
Yeah.
loved or whatever, and he's like, "Who are you?" And
He's like,
I
don't know who you
love
are.
I love that
Who are you?
interaction. I was like, and like she easily could have killed Thanos, easily if he didn't say rain fire and destroyed half of his army. Like
She was
in
also
all reality,
toying with him.
yeah, in all reality, she would have killed him. But I just like Pietro better. It's actually kind of like you guys brought up the same point I was going to bring up, where yeah, she falls to her knees, but it is because of her that the island falls.
Right.
I'm like, you couldn't hold your shit together, dude.
It's her fault.
Like
Yeah,
just for
it's
like
true.
2 seconds. Just for like 2 seconds. There was one robot that was like, you know what? She's freaking out. Let me just
Right.
like she said, don't worry. She literally said, don't worry, I got this.
Yeah, she
She
took all
told
that-
everyone, don't
Yeah.
worry, I got
And
this.
she
Like, don't
don't.
even worry about it. She did not have this. I mean, I get it. I get it. Losing your sibling's tough. But come on. Just like one more robot.
Just
Just
one more.
one.
Dude, just
This
keep
is one
the,
robot.
keep the town in the air.
That might
Yeah.
be like kind of just a
I
personal
mean-
opinion where I'm like, dude, you freak. I
To
hate
be-
like.
To
I
be
hated
fair, I'm pretty sure that robot was already like dead on the ground and it came back.
It was a
Like
crawler.
it was like.
But the thing is, she
basically-
just like I'm like that was your job, just protect that little thing, and she couldn't. In my head also, like were they connected via the Mind Stone? Like I mean, I get the whole brother sister like
What do you mean? What do you mean
connection.
connected? Like telepathically.
she
or
fell
what do you
down
mean?
to her knees, like everything.
As
like,
soon as he
I
As
want to
soon as he died.
believe. I
That's
want to
twinning
believe so
him.
because they both got their powers from the Mind Stone.
From it. Yeah.
But like they
Obviously,
even said,
they-
like
yeah.
the only thing is, well, like later on, obviously they say that, like in WandaVision, they say that it just woke up the mutant gene that was inside of them.
Yeah. The
and they're
miracle
twins,
gene,
though.
sorry.
So
Twin
Miracle
telepathy.
gene.
I don't have a
twins are
twin, so I
kinda
wouldn't
have that
know.
weird-
Max, you have me, twin.
But yeah, I don't know. I like Quicksilver. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the scene of
I
her
agree.
falling to the ground.
I don't like the
And then,
disregard Quicksilver too. Like, I think that's just a hard question because I love them both
And
so
then
much.
Infinity War, she took
They
forever.
had her up in like the tower
Yeah,
for
she
half the
took-
battle.
She for
Like, I
more
get
than half
it.
the battle for
Yeah.
and like she took her sweet time killing. I get it. It's someone you love,
Right.
so I can't. I've never been in that situation, so I really can't say. But
Right.
Dude,
I feel like
you've
if
never
it's
had
for
to
the
save
whole-
world.
if it's
Mhm.
for the whole world, like,
Come on
and
now.
the person's telling me do it so we can save the whole world, and then you wait till the
Right.
last second till
Or half
Thanos
the
gets close to
universe.
you.
And then like rewinds it and does it again. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tough.
yeah. I'd hate to be her.
Damn, she saw him twice. She saw him die 3 times, right? Technically, because
No,
she
twice.
killed him.
Well, and then in WandaVision.
In the Infinity Saga twice.
Yes.
Dude, imagine what was in her void.
She saw Vision die.
It's just Thanos
Oh,
going.
Vision.
Just over and over again.
Thanos is hitting the whip.
The last like question the last one comparison I have is like my favorite out of the bunch, but it's Cap finally lifting Mjolnir and him being worthy, obviously because he finally told Tony about Bucky and stuff, and I think that was like the only reason that was holding him back. I'm pretty sure that's what was like confirmed. And then or Iron Man snap.
Oh God, bro.
Yeah, I know.
The guy who wrote
I know.
these must really want to get us.
I know, dude. Like Moses, you go first, buddy.
Okay, I'm gonna
Both
say this
Endgame,
off rip.
obviously.
Okay, both Endgame, but the most like wow, oh my gosh moment, like the theater like in unison like was uproar was when you see just floating near like because we all knew what was gonna happen. Like I'm not like I love Tony, like I'm a Iron Man main on Marvels, but man, like everyone
Shout
was
out.
going
Just
crazy.
waiting for it to
Shout
get
out.
brought up. I was just waiting for it to get brought up again.
Well, Lord Iron Man, shouts to Lord Iron Man's out there. But yeah, that was definitely like the wow, oh my god moment. Because I think we were all waiting for it. Like true fans, like we knew it
Right.
because like we saw the wiggle in what was that?
Age of Ultron.
when it like barely wiggled.
Yeah, he like barely
Yeah.
lifted it.
And Thor was like this.
He's like,
Yeah, pretty much.
and then Thor was like, "I knew it."
I knew it.
So
But how about you, Austin?
yeah, that was
Oh, my bad.
yeah.
Go ahead, Moses. Sorry.
no. I was just saying like that was it. Yeah, that was it for me.
Are we talking like so in terms of like more of a crowd pop or like more of an impact throughout? Because
I think
Here's
what
the
was just
thing.
like. I think what was like your favorite? Like, which one do you prefer? It's your opinions.
I think I enjoyed. Well, I mean, I enjoyed the Mjolnir scene more. It crushed me. Like I knew what Tony was gonna do once it got
Yeah.
to that point. Like you're like, man, that's so shitty because it's we know what's about to happen, and he's gonna have to save half the universe by taking on the stones, snapping his fingers, and that's ultimately gonna kill him. Because look at what it did to Hulk. Like it fried Hulk's arm, bro. Like he was full of gamma
Yeah.
radiation, and we knew what was happening to Tony. I think that like Moses was saying, the overall like crowd pop and like the energy of the theater when that scene happens, when Mjolnir flies towards Cap and he catches it with the perfect like, as it's coming back. I feel like that like led the charge to like, build it up, and then that follows up with, I believe it's him like, getting beat for a little bit and then the whole thing spiraling again. Or no, that's more towards the end. But yeah, I mean, I think that the overall scene that I enjoyed more was probably the Mjolnir scene, but the
Mhm.
overall impactful scene was definitely Tony for sure.
Jeremy, figure it out.
He's got opinions.
Okay. Man, I just can't win these days. Okay.
You're winning. What do you mean?
All right. So me 4 days ago would have said Cap. I did just rewatch Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
And I will be choosing Tony Snap because watching Tony's character grow throughout the Iron Man movies and the Avengers movies, and I know we're strictly just talking about Avengers movies right now, but even those, from the visions to everything that man's been through in general, I think it just took a real circle for him to realize that it starts with me, it's going to end with me, you know? Like, it's so impactful to where, like, yes, Cap picking up Mjolnir, I almost crapped my pants in the theater. I became a NASA rocket in the air, like in the ceiling. And it's so
Oh no.
it's so much more of an impact to me personally, just seeing those stones slide up Tony's arm. And because it just goes dead silent, and you just hear like the electronics from that just
The
go
powering up,
and the breathing, and you're like, you know he's gonna do it, and it's like, I am Iron Man, bro. Because how did the Iron Man movie end? The first one, he announced he was Iron Man, and it's like that impacted where they were back in 2008 then to now being in 2019 to being like the same 4 words,
Yeah.
I am Iron Man. It just impacted me. I don't know. It might have been different if I hadn't just rewatched Iron Man 1, but just based on that whole thing and like piecing it together and the way I feel like I've been watching these movies a little more intricately now that I'm like in my old age. So it's like I definitely would be choosing that one over Cap. Love the Cap though.
Yeah. Cam?
No bias.
No bias.
Hey, what's
Sure.
behind
Nice.
you? What's behind you on the wall?
Nothing.
Nothing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there you go.
Patrick Willis jersey?
Oh, the
Yeah, that,
Daredevil
yeah.
mask.
Patrick
That's what
Willis.
he's talking about.
Right.
Oh,
5'2",
yeah,
5'2".
yeah.
Right.
No, Cap Milner scene for sure. I was most juiced for, and I enjoyed more. I think it was a moment that was building up for a really long time, even before Age of Ultron. I think whenever Thor verse came out, because I think that came out after Cap the First Avenger. I want to say,
Wait,
but
what
I
happened?
think
What?
I'm just saying. I think ever since the first Thor movie came out, which I think was after Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah, I believe it was.
I think after that, I think it was a question in a lot of people's minds, like, is Cap worthy? And I think he's been worthy since he jumped on the grenade in the first Avenger.
Yeah.
I think
agree.
I absolutely am convinced he could have lifted Thor's hammer in Age of Ultron, but just didn't, because I don't think he needed to prove anything.
I think it was said that I believe the Russo said like it was because of the secret he was hiding from Tony.
Oh yeah, because
That
at the
he
very end
was-
he was like, "Did you
Because
know?"
at that point they were already like looking into Bucky and stuff. Like he met with Sam earlier, you know, and so I think because like it looked like he did try, and then like it
Mhm.
just wouldn't come up. Like he like wiggled the top part or whatever, and so
Mhm. But yeah, that's definitely out of the two, I'm choosing Cap lifting Mjolnir for sure.
I respect
yeah,
that.
I think both. Honestly, I'm on the fence of both because like maybe I was stupid. I don't know. I didn't see either of them coming at all. Like I really didn't. I didn't expect either of it. I avoided like all spoilers. I saw it opening night, but like it was still a surprise. I didn't expect Iron Man to like when Thanos grabbed that gauntlet, right? I didn't think like Iron Man had like put in extra tech to make sure like he thought about that scenario. He thought about, oh, Thanos might get his hands on this gauntlet. All I gotta do is grab it real quick, and then the nanobites, pull the stones in. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence for both. I like both. Obviously, I like Cap. I think I like the Cap scene better. It was just more badass to me. Like it was like, obviously, like I don't understand. Like, do you have to think about what you're snapping to make it work? So that was like the only thing that I was kind of confused about. But
I think it was just super cool to see like kind of Steve like didn't like have any issues wielding Mjolnir. Like,
bro, this
he
dude
was
was
able
a
to
pro.
summon the
This
light
dude
on
like
everything.
This dude was like, oh, let me
Yeah.
uppercut him with the hammer.
Right.
But wait,
They were doing
I'm
combos
not
together.
done. Yeah, he used his shield and hammer,
Yeah.
and then
Dude,
he was like,
using
"Oh, I'm not
the
done.
whiplash-
Let me
yeah.
summon the
And
lightning."
then,
And it was like,
and Thor's like, "No, I like this one better," or whatever.
Bro,
yeah, it was-
he's definitely a lord, bro. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he has the icon.
well, it's like you gain whoever's worthy gains the power of Thor. So it's like, I thought it was dope.
I think it would have been so cool to see him swinging around and fly.
Dude.
That would have
would've
been so
I-
sick.
I would have ran out of the.
Well,
theater.
he kind of did. He swung it and then like went up
He kinda
Yeah.
and then
jumped
came
up.
back down
That's
with a
yeah,
thunder.
but like, could you imagine if like during the last sequence of fighting, like you just see him like doing, he like flies
You
to
just
the
see him
other
in the
side.
background.
Whee!
You just see him fly in the background.
I would
Like,
lose
crap,
my.
What are you doing?
I would lose
Hurry!
my damn
Well,
mind.
when he said Avengers Assemble, he had the hammer. Yeah, they
Yeah.
should have had him fly during that part. That would have been so
Dude,
sick.
He literally
they
could have
should've
just
had him
flown in
fly.
after that. Like he could have flown
I don't even
towards them.
think Thor flew. I think he was actually just running with it too, right?
Yeah, they were all
Yeah,
running.
he was
they were
running.
all running pretty much, and then like I
Except
don't
for
think you
people who
see
could
really
fly.
Thor fly at all. Like you see, I'm pretty sure he does like a big jump and then or
Well,
something
he was
like
a
that.
little.
Well, Thor was going through the
No,
Fortnite. He was a little.
packing a little bit.
He was packing. I mean, technically, they said that was the strongest Thor.
Yeah, Rocket did
So-
say he looked like melted ice cream. So
Yeah, he did.
But sick. Okay, cool. We're just gonna go into our rankings real quick. It doesn't need to be too long. Pretty quick. We're actually doing great time, guys. I'm proud of us. But basically, I want to hear like rank. This is the question I think everyone was waiting for. It's like rank the 4 Avengers films from worst to best. We could all start. We could either go like one by one, like number 4 across the board, number 3 across the board. Up to you guys. I think we should do one by one.
I agree.
Or I think we
That's-
should do all
yeah.
of them. Or what do you guys want to do?
Hey, dealer's choice.
I
I'm just a
think-
guest here.
I think we start with 4, and then everyone says they're 4, and then 3, and then so
Sick,
forth.
I agree. Okay, dope. Let's do it. I'll go first, dude. I think number 4 is Avengers 1. For me. Yeah. Cameron, you go next. It's popcorn. You pick.
All right,
after.
I'm gonna go Avengers 1 for my worst.
Nice choice. Who do you pick next, dude?
Moses.
I'm going Avengers 1, 2.
Mhm.
That's all I'm gonna say. Just Avengers 1.
Yeah, who do you pick?
I picked Jeremy.
Kidding me? I'm saying Avengers: Age of Ultron.
You haven't
Oh,
watched
boy.
it in years. I can
Yeah.
tell.
Rewatch
as the
it.
fourth,
You gotta rewatch.
that's the worst Avengers movie.
It's not. It's
so good.
hard. It's hard to put it because those two
Jeremy had to be
Avengers
different.
1, and Avengers: Age of Ultron are the clear 2 bottom for me.
Paige just commented in the chat, said, bro, I'm going to crash out.
Bro, I love
Shout out, Paige.
I love Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
I love Ultron, but bro,
Jeremy's also going to crash out.
I will fucking crash out.
We'll go into it. Austin, what's your number 4?
Avengers 1.
Sick. Okay, so Jeremy, odd man out.
Wait,
Mhm.
wait. I have a question. Since we're talking about Avenger movies and we're ranking them, now, do you technically count?
No, we don't count Civil War.
No,
Avengers?
Civil War does not
We're
count.
not going to
Civil
count. It's
War
just
is
the
not
top.
Avengers.
It's just
Yeah.
the. It's the 4. It's the 4 Avengers movies.
But it has Avengers in the title. New Avengers.
No.
Nope. But technically, you're right. But we're not even going to do that because we're talking about the Infinity Saga.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert, Moses.
That's spoil. New Avengers is spoiler, I guess. My bad.
I mean, they ripped that sign like 2 days after the movie came out. So I'm
Literally,
not-
that's Sunday.
Don't even get me started on
3
that,
days.
bro. Okay, so do I need to? It's me because I'm not man out. Yes, okay.
Jeremy.
Okay.
Yeah, explain
All
why. Why do you?
I will say again, this is a personal ranking list.
Yeah.
Personal ranking list.
Yeah.
Avengers
Keep
1.
saying you're wrong on the podcast from the last podcast. We had a lot of people saying I was a little too harsh, but I'm gonna say it again. Jeremy, you're wrong.
Okay. And guess
Yeah,
what?
Go ahead.
I'm right.
You
baby.
didn't have to explain it. He said you're wrong.
No, Moses. Let's fix that connection, buddy. Okay, so basically,
God.
what I'm trying to say is, Age of Ultron is a great movie. This is a personal rankings list. Age of Ultron does not hit as close to home as Avengers 1 does for me. Watching the Avengers come together, watching the Avengers fight in the field when it was Thor, Iron Man, and fucking excuse my language.
You
Tony.
could go ahead. You could use it.
And-
You could use it.
It's just I think it's also just a personal memento to me. I saw that was the first ever midnight premiere I ever went to. It was like 5th grade, and it genuinely
You
like
could tell.
the sentimental. Moses, I can't see.
Moses and Jeremy. Moses and Jeremy. Keep it with
Let's
the
go.
podcast, buddy.
Regular.
Yeah, I'll
Come
keep
on.
it with the podcast. Hey, I'm yeah, I got this.
Focus.
But, yes, just personally to me, I might change after rewatch. I'm not gonna lie because I'm
Yeah.
rewatching all of them right now.
I will.
But I will say that just everything in Avengers 1 leading up to the final fight in New York. I love the final fight in New York. I think it's great. And I don't know. I have a personal ranking list of it. I do prefer it more than Age
Yeah.
of Ultron.
No, that's valid. I think you
Yeah.
had valid points.
I'll take it.
In my opinion, I think you're wrong,
Mhm.
but it's your opinion though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all about opinion.
The thing, if I were to compare it, I'm gonna compare the Avengers coming together,
Mhm.
right? When they go in their circle formation that they did in the first two movies.
Mhm.
The first movie was cool. We got to see all of them go in a circle, and I was like, "This is kind of lit. You know, this is dope.
Right.
I like it."
And seeing Cap lead the
But-
team, bro, too, like that was cool.
Yeah, but then you see in like the Age of Ultron when they go back in the circle. You know what I'm saying? They do the little Avenger circle. They're like,
But where it all started.
but listen, but Thor was like, "Is that all you got?" You know, like
Yeah.
that's it. And Ultron was like,
No, this is the best I could do.
and it's just like a million of them,
Yep.
and
Oh,
they
yeah.
protect that circle. Also, why I hate Wanda, but it's like they protect that circle and they're going off.
Oh my god, I forgot about that entire fight, bro.
You
I'm not
forgot
gonna
about?
change.
That's what I
forgot-
thought.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
When
my
they're in the
opinion-
circle and,
yes, and the whole
like,
cinematic
I'm like-
one shot. Yeah, okay, yeah. My
Yeah,
fault.
in my
Avengers
head,
1
I'm
is
like-
last.
I'm like, okay, like Scarlet Witch is shooting people. I get it, like
Yeah.
you know, shooting the aliens or whatever.
Right.
But I'm like, dude, now you gotta shoot robots. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like they gotta
Yeah.
pop out, sting in the neck. You know, all this stuff. Like
Yeah,
I'm like, this is fresh.
Sting.
Thor was like throwing his hammer. Vision came out of nowhere. And was like, let me go through these bodies just real quick. They just kept going through them.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. And then Vision was like, don't worry about Ultron. Ultron's attacking. I'll handle him myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Easy.
Hulk was biting robots' heads off.
Right.
Yeah, dude. It
Yeah,
was like,
dude,
I
come
was
on.
like, dude, that's how I got to compare the two. I'm like, which Avenger circle did I like better?
yeah.
I'm like, the second one was just so much,
I genuinely
so
think,
dope to me.
I think it's just a personal preference. I'm not gonna lie, but after rewatch,
Did
I'll
they-
probably change my mind.
Did they do that in Infinity War Endgame? Did they do like an Avenger circle?
Infinity War was split up, and
Yeah,
Endgame,
they were split.
they were all in a line.
There was no circle.
True that.
And
No,
like,
sorry,
Cap was
Endgame.
like, Avengers.
And he said it hella quiet, like no one could hear him in the background. Like
Yeah.
They're like,
he
what?
was like, he was like,
I can't hear
Avengers,
you."
assemble. Like, oh, why did you whisper that, dude?
Everyone in the
like,
back's like, what are we
like-
doing?
The people in like ships and stuff, they're like, what do you say?
like,
You,
you know, like
you hear
Scott
Sam
Lang.
flying in. Sam,
Well,
flying
you
Howard,
know-
the Howard the Duck's down there. He's like, wait, what?
Yeah, you know, Scott Lang was like, what did he say?
Yeah.
Scott was probably like so lost because I'm just gonna run because
Yeah.
Scott was what, he was Giant Man at that time.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, come on, dude.
Scott was probably
Come on.
like, I'm gonna assume he said assemble, so let's run at the same time.
Yeah,
Imagine how loud he was up there, bro. He's like, "What?"
I think they all just heard Thor scream. So like, all right, that's what we're going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The war cry.
okay. Number 3, I'm gonna say Age of Ultron. I
Yeah.
mean, like
I was gonna
we can
say.
kind of go through this one. It's the same talk, so it's like Moses is yours Age of Ultron. So everyone besides Jeremy is Age of Ultron, and then it goes Avengers 1. Okay, so
Yeah,
same
Avengers
talk.
one. Mhm.
So number 2, we'll just go with it because these two movies are tied directly together. So we'll just do the same thing. I like obviously Infinity War was a better movie. I'm gonna put Infinity War 1, and then number 2 is gonna be Endgame.
Yeah.
Does everyone agree with that?
Yes, sir.
I
Yes.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, sick. Yeah, the reason I said it is just because like Infinity War, it's like you have it was Thanos' story. It was dope seeing it from the villain side. I kind of like movies where like the antagonist is like the main character, right? So it's like you have, I think another movie that did it well was in The Dark Knight, Batman: The Dark Knight. They do
Yeah, the Joker.
the Joker, you know, and so I kind of like that. But I think Endgame or Infinity War just did a little bit better, where it's like, hey, Thanos really runs the show. Like this is about Thanos collecting the stones, not even worrying about like Austin just said it, like they were split up, you know, or Austin and Cameron just said they were split up, and so it's like that's the reason I liked it. That's my rankings. I think it was two great movies though.
Right.
I think Endgame definitely had a lot more like scenes where you're like, holy crap, right? Like obviously you had the theater reactions more, I think, in Endgame, but in Infinity War, obviously I think the overall story was just way better.
I'd even say, like, I'd match that and say, for some of the theater reactions too, when Loki died in the first sequence.
Oh
in Infinity
yeah.
War, that
Yeah.
shit was insane. I was
Right.
Well,
so-
I'm saying like as
yeah.
in like let's stand up and clap and like, be like, woo!
Oh,
You know, we
yeah.
didn't get that
I
a lot.
wasn't
We
doing
got that
that.
a little bit
At
in
the end, I
Infinity
looked
War,
like
right?
this.
Yeah, I remember I was
Yeah.
sitting next to Moses in a movie theater, and we were like, "Is it done?" Like they didn't
Right.
say the Avengers will be back.
Mm-mm.
I don't believe they
There
did.
was no like post-credit scenes, right? There was nothing, right?
Yeah, there was a
Am I
Captain
tripping?
Marvel.
The Captain Marvel
Captain
one.
Marvel.
The Captain
yeah.
Marvel, where it
With
shows
Nick
that
Fury and the beeper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pager.
okay,
Pager.
but like
Yeah.
it was like everything was like at a standstill. I'm like, wait, what? This can't be the end.
and the movie just
But I
ended, just
literally
black
watched-
screen.
Yeah, watching like the old YouTube video last night, Max, the vlog that like the instant reaction that we had from Endgame.
Mhm.
We were so just like on mute because we were like, but I remember saying it like it could have been another like 3 hours. Like I wish it was longer.
Literally.
but like
Yeah, they were talking about having that be like
Yeah.
having both the movies combined being like a 6-hour experience. That would have been insane.
it was that.
I
It
would
was
have
just
been
that
sat
good.
in that theater.
Cool. All right, next question, real quick.
Mhm.
We'll just go all at once. Like it's going to be basically rank your top three Avengers performance in the saga. So I'm gonna go first, I guess, because I thought about it a little bit. I didn't give you guys a chance to think about it. Kind of left you on your toes. But I'm gonna do Thor, Cap, and Iron Man. I think they had the biggest impacts to me, and I think their performances were just great. They were the OG three, right? It's like those guys were just dope to me. It's like you see Thor's full story of him coming back, like, hey, you know what, I gotta help this team. I can't just sit on my butt all day. You have Cap obviously going from like Nomad in Infinity War to like, hey, let me bring back Captain America again. Let me shave the beard. Like that scene, I think had a lot of significance just because it was like, hey, I'm back, you know. And then obviously you had Tony Stark, the whole full circle moment. But those are my three. Do you guys have any three that are different than that?
One that could run in it, but I don't think I'd change it.
Let's hear it.
I'd say Hawkeye in a sense of how it went from. I think it would mostly be during the Endgame process, but like we didn't see him during Infinity War at all. Had no
Not
idea
till
what
the
he
very
was
end.
doing, like in general. And then all of a sudden, it just cut to the beginning of Endgame being like his kid's getting snapped.
Yeah.
And like he's losing his whole family, and then it cuts to him being the Ronin, and then losing his best friend, like life partner, going for the stone. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Guardians glazer, Guardians to the nines. But dude,
And we could all agree that the
Yeah.
Guardians did absolutely nothing in Infinity War and Endgame.
well, that's a whole nother pocket of stuff we'll
Drac?
pull out. Group played video games, but when it came to Natasha hitting the ground, bro, and him just on his knees in the water, like in tears, bro, that hit me like a bus.
Did you guys see the extended scene? Jeremy, I think I just
You
showed
just
you
showed
it
it to me, yeah, that's-
recently. But
That's one of the reasons I said that, because I was like, it hit me so hard.
you see the alternate scene? Yeah, of them sacrificing Natasha.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it comes down like yeah. The basically Thanos' like cabal was there, so
Right.
yeah, I thought that scene was dope. I think they should have went with that scene instead, but I think they cut it for like time references or something like that.
Yeah. But I will agree with your three. I think the three are the standard. When I think about Thor, I think I mostly think about like the instances in the Thor movies instead of like the actual Avengers movies for impact. Because
Yeah.
like Avengers Endgame with like, you know, him being a ball of ice cream to coming back and being Thor Odinson again. It's just
Mhm.
like you think about him losing his mom in Dark World and then his dad and then an eye, and he just kind of went through the shithole.
Yeah,
And
so
then his
that-
brother, and then like legit, he just got ripped away from
Yeah.
everything. And I don't know. I think it's just very interesting to just be able to sit back and actually like look at it in perspective. But I do agree that I don't really think like you can't change that top three, no matter what instances you bring up, just because of how crucial they are.
No, I agree. Austin, do you have any different?
No, I think that my top three are those for sure. I was trying to think if there's anyone that I would like loop into there. I think Hawkeye's a good note. Jeremy for sure. I think his storyline in Endgame was pretty traumatic for sure. Like, you know, losing your whole family and not knowing what was going on. Like that wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't put him in the top three,
No.
you know, performances. I think that it was a very emotional performance for him for sure. I feel like if we would have got the Black Widow movie before, maybe Natasha, but I mean that's even tough because it's like like what really happened. You know what I mean? Like
And it just doesn't hit as hard. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
like, not to
it
disagree.
doesn't.
Like it just doesn't.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I agree.
And man, there was one more, and I mean, you could even like Loki too, like in the sense of like the Avengers movies.
Yeah, I just don't think that like if I had to pick 3, it'd be
those 3 for
Oh,
sure.
Yeah, it'd be the OG 3.
Yeah, I'm a yapper, my fault, but yeah.
No, you're good. Cameron Moses, do you guys have anything to say about it real quick?
No, those are the same 3 that I was gonna pick if we were talking about like just the Infinity War saga as a whole. But it has me thinking like, who would we pick for like the multiversal like saga? If we
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit different, but
oh, my bad. But like that makes me think like who the 3 would be for that. But yeah.
Yeah, no, you're good. Cam, do you have anything?
You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened. I lost you.
No,
guys
you're
for a
good. We're
second.
back.
We're still on the top 3 for the saga.
Yeah. Do you have any different?
No, I don't have anything different, but obviously I think Thor had a really good arc, but I really want to emphasize Cap and Iron Man. I think everything that they went through together, like they had that, I want to say like kind of brother love-hate relationship.
Yeah, Civil War really messed them up, dude.
Civil War really messed them up, and I think them coming full circle to how they were back in Endgame is just like, I think that's one of the greatest probably story arcs, and as far as for 2 characters, for like a relationship wise, so I thought that was really good.
I like that.
Yeah, that kind of answered our next like couple 2 discussion questions, couple 3 actually discussion questions. But another question I have is, which villain delivered the best performance in the Avengers movies? Was it Loki, Ultron, or Thanos? Yeah, whoever wants to go.
I'll go. I don't
Go
care.
ahead, Austin. Austin's ready for it. He said, yep.
Yeah. I kind of like... I think that all 3 villains had their certain quirks and stuff that really made them cool. But the way that I'm thinking about it is like, Loki essentially was a pawn for Thanos. Call it what it is. Ultron, I think, had the potential to be pretty chaotic because his goal was to eliminate the human race, because it's like, you guys are going to kill yourself anyway. But at the same time, I think that the villain that delivered the best performance was Thanos. Not only because, like, I'm going to say it, his logic of like, the reason why he was doing it is like population control. He's trying to, get to the point where he's keeping his, his vision clear, what he's trying to do. The way that he went about his tactics, collecting all the stones in the exact order that he did, literally set him up for the next stone. I mean, now that we're at the point where they call them just paperweights and they're pointless. But I think that overall, Thanos' performance and like the overall story arc for him and seeing the build up, I think that just really puts him over the top. Not only that, but I think that Josh Brolin did a really good job. I mean, you don't really see him, but it's, his voice acting.
Yeah, he did it all. I mean, he did voice acting, he did motion capture.
Right.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I would say Thanos did. Just if I had to base it just on the Avengers movies, like each Avengers movie.
Right.
Like Avengers 1, Avengers 2, and then both Infinity War and Endgame put together.
Yep.
I want to say Ultron. I think they downplayed Ultron a lot. I'm excited to see Ultron later on, though. Hopefully in Vision Quest.
Yeah.
I think they definitely need to bring him back. Ultron. I think Ultron's almost up there, dude, because Ultron, the way he was talking, the way he really didn't care. You know?
Yeah.
He had that same mission as Tony, right? Like, let's protect Earth. But then he's like, oh wait, the way to protect Earth is to get rid of all of humanity. Yeah. So it's like, I thought, So overall, I have to give it to Ultron, or give it to Thanos. Loki just didn't do enough for me in the first one. Obviously, Loki's arc overall, if you put the shows in together, they all add up, and it's like, okay, cool. And I think Loki easily takes it. But without putting any of the movies, like any of the other movies besides like the actual Avengers movies, it's like, I'm not counting Loki's in Thor: The Dark World, not counting that. Even though I thought he gave a great performance in that. Thor Ragnarok, not counting that, all that stuff. So
it's just like, and to kind of piggyback off of what you both said, because you're both right, in the sense of Loki's performances weren't Avengers performances, if that makes sense. He made up for it in the other things that he did.
Like, he made up for it.
He
100%
made up for
agree.
other things. And if we're really talking like Ultron, and I'm actually kind of really mad at myself that I forgot the majority of this movie because I need to rewatch it. But Thanos got 2 movies, bro. Thanos got he is the big bad. He
The whole Infinity Saga
Yeah.
was about him.
He
All the
threw,
movies
he
were about
threw
him.
his fucking daughter. Sorry, he threw his daughter off the cliff to sacrifice her to get a stone to fulfill his. Yeah, he won.
Adopted daughter.
Adopted daughter. Yeah, but it's like.
Hey, I'm adopted. What's the difference? Adopted.
Hey man,
I'm not adopted. It's still the same.
I'm not throwing you off a rock for a soul stone, bro. Like I love you too much. But I think Thanos being able to keep, I call it the term like eyes forward, like nothing led him astray. The fact that even dragging Gamora through the like all the way, it's like, hey, like I don't care. This is what I'm meant to do. This is what I'm gonna do. I don't care who gets in my way. They won't be. And
well, it was a tough decision on him. He didn't want to do it.
He cried.
You know, he admitted that. Like
he knew he had to.
Yeah, he knew he had to just set his goal overall. I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, even though he may have not wanted to, like he may have had that little lighthearted moment, he still did it because he knew what he was supposed to do.
Yep.
And it's just Thanos he's been the big bad. He's been the ever looming threat, like you said in the Infinity Saga. It's all led up to him.
Yeah.
And,
how about you, Cam?
Yeah.
Thanos is the best villain, hands down. I'm gonna give a little credit to Loki in the sense of how menacing he was. I think a lot of his scenes, like he just like you could tell he was just evil.
He was scheming the whole time, dude.
Very schemy and slimy, and just like dude, when he stabbed that dude in the eye, and he was smiling and enjoying it, and like he was just menacing. And I know he like obviously he was a pawn, like you said, Austin. His impact wasn't really as great, but I still think like I'm gonna give him a little credit. Obviously,
100%.
But
he's so
Thanos' performance was awesome.
Thanos absolutely is the best villain.
He killed Agent Coulson too, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, smiled during that too.
He sure did. Most, do you say Ultron or do you say Thanos as well?
Yeah, Thanos is out of like talking just Infinity War. Yeah, he's hands down like the best villain. Unfortunately, I want to say Ultron too, but they did him so dirty. So yeah, we got to go with Thanos.
That's not the best Ultron we're gonna get, I don't think. I mean, we've seen.
I think like I said in Vision Quest, there's potential. So we'll see. We'll see how he goes. Like, I mean, obviously, like this dude's like almost impossible to kill, right? It's like he flew all that way from Sokovia. Like, I feel like he could have. I mean, in the comics, he could put his body through anything like electrical, and so we'll see how they adapt it in the Vision Quest show.
And then if you reference to like What If, which is canon, like there's literally an episode What If Ultron won, you know what I mean? So there is a different version of Ultron that is better to some extent, that wins and keeps going. Yeah. So
I have like two little things, but I mean I'm just gonna go through them just so we don't miss on it. But like which Avengers movie had the best final battle? And I think we all agree Endgame had probably the best final battle. Without a doubt, it had the most impact. It had the biggest crowd moments where it's like, holy crap. You know, it's like you have every single Avengers, you know, and you finally got the whole Avengers assemble, even though the assemble part was a little quiet. And then just going into a little bit of like, I guess like a debate is like, do you guys think, it's kind of just off topic a little bit, but do you guys think, Austin mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Thanos was right, at least like, you know, like philosophically, like he was correct, you know, like, do you guys, in all reality, I think he kind of was, like, I get the point he was trying to make. I just don't think that was the right way to do it. Go ahead, Cameron.
I think he was right because of Eternals.
Yes.
And
I 100% agree with you.
He knew that about the Celestial. He knew that the Celestial needed energy from Earth. Obviously, Thanos was trying to take half of all living population everywhere, but maybe
I'm just
that
saying
was for
Thanos
all
could have been
Celestials.
Thanos could have been right. You know, the way he did it was kind of wrong, but I mean, was kind of wrong. Was wrong. He snapped half the universe, but
I will say,
here's the thing.
Okay, I think we all agree Thanos was right. Okay, here we go.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead, Austin.
It could have been worse. Like the way he was going about it is like, I'm not trying to downplay, you know, the death aspect of it.
Paige just said Thanos was right. Go for it.
Yeah, like at the same time, these are the, you know, Thanos and his, you know, the group, I can't think of the name, but like when they're going around the universe, they're seeing all of this happen with what's happening with the Celestials. They know what's going on. It's not like they're not seeing it because they're traveling the universe. Well, who knows if they were, but I mean, that's my thought process with it. And if we're talking about like the way that he eliminated half the universe, it was with a snap. Like none of those people knew what happened.
Yeah, because when they got brought back, they were like,
Wait, what's going on?
I don't think, because Peter was explaining it in Endgame. While they were snapped, I don't think there was like they were
nothing. There was no
existing.
time.
No.
There was
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
Yeah, there's no
exactly.
existence. And
People
like
just pop
Exactly.
back up.
in all reality, the snap was better than the way Thanos was doing it before he got all.
Yes.
Before he got
sure.
all the.
I was
So
gonna say
remember,
that,
like
right.
they showed it on Gamora's homeworld.
They just shot everyone and killed everyone.
Right.
They shot half
Yeah,
of
he
the
was
population.
like,
They literally
distracting
murdered
her
them.
with the knife.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and part of it, I think that you could call it what it is. I'm not trying to justify him at all by any means because it's, he's limiting half the universe, but doing it that many times, like how we see it on Gamora's planet, that probably takes a toll on him. He feels emotion. Don't let it fool you.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
see it with Gamora when he sacrifices her. He doesn't like doing that, but he knows it's like someone said earlier, he has a direct vision. He wants to help. He wants to be a hero. He saw the famine on his own planet.
He wants
saw
to save the
poverty.
universe.
Right.
Yeah.
In his
In
mind,
his own
he's
way.
saving the universe. Yeah.
It's better than Ultron's way. Let's just say that, right? Like
Very,
Ultron,
very
I do
true.
agree
Ultron
with
wanted
that,
to
yeah.
kill all of humanity. So it's like,
I
Very
think
true.
it all just comes down to everyone has their own opinion on the perspective of what they're doing.
Right.
Tony thought he was right in Civil War. Cap thought he was
Exactly.
right in Civil War. Thanos
Right.
thought he was right when he killed half of everyone.
Mhm.
Like it's all you're gonna think you're the hero of your own story because you feel like what you're doing is right. Someone put the quotations around that, put Jerry Fiorito onto that. That was kind of hard.
yeah, you do. Yeah,
Yeah,
post
yeah,
edit,
yeah,
post
yeah.
edit, post edit. I got you. Duh, I got you, dude.
Hashtag Thanos was right.
Hashtag Thanos was right. At the end of the day,
Thanos
I mean,
was
we all
right.
agree Thanos was right. Like,
I'd
it's hard to
snap
admit.
me. I'd get
I
snapped.
mean, I don't control the world, right? I don't have that power, so I wouldn't do it anyway, even if I did. But
You have aura though, like you could. Like if anyone
No.
were to get
You
Infinity
have
Gauntlet,
aura.
if
Let's-
anyone were to get
You have
Infinity
aura.
Gauntlet, I would literally call you. Like if someone was like, "Oh yeah, they found
He
one on
already
Earth,"
has
I'd be
one.
like, "Max." Oh, okay. Well,
He
has
already
like
has
4 or
one.
5. Okay. Oh, okay. Set up.
Hey Max,
tour.
how'd you get those paperweights?
no, found him at a store. Found him at a store.
Put 'em in a drawer.
yeah, it's hard, but that's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to like justify like not having Thanos be right, but I can't justify it. I think he was right.
You
He killed
can't-
half the universe. That's
He
why
killed
he
half-
wasn't right.
That's like the part that hurts. But I'm like,
yeah.
He's just not very.
I
much
mean-
he's not a people person, I guess.
like I mean, that was like the main
He's not
that
a
was
chill
one of
guy.
the main topics in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's like, hey, like a lot of the people were like, life's kind of like they got over it in 5 years, right? They
It's not
kind of
that
were like
bad.
they're like,
Not that bad.
but
You can argue it made it harder for the people when they came back. Like,
Yeah.
It did.
I mean,
obviously
hear
you
about
see
the
Sam
kids in
going through
Spider-Man.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you see Sam going through it. You see like obviously you have those personal connections with like in Endgame you have Scott's daughter. You have a whole bunch of people that I mean, like I said, there's a lot of people that were like, hey, this is how the world is, and they adapted. 5 years is a long time at the end of the day.
right.
And so
Good for
kinda
the
hard to-
planet's like environment too. Like when Cap says saw a pot of whales in the Hudson today. Like that's natural. You know what I mean? That's like
Yeah. And
Earth
then-
going back to what it was before.
It's
humanity.
kind of funny though that basically Earth just gave up after the snap because
Yeah.
you see it with New York and like nothing's being taken care of, and like honestly they could have, but everyone just gave up because of what happened. Like obviously everyone's
Yeah.
traumatized by what happened and they're suffering, but they gave up.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if I saw you guys turn into like dust on the screen, I'd be freaking the hell out because I'd be so.
Imagine if
confused.
it just happened right now when we're all just sitting here.
Yeah, but
Hey.
will you be like that for 5 years though?
Nah, I'd probably be really confused.
Or longer.
Or longer, yeah.
Nah, I'm an emotional guy. I'd probably cry for a while. No cap.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I'd shed a tear. for
It just
sure.
reminds me of like do you guys see the Bird Crasher podcast where they're like I would
Shout
have
out.
I would have a harder time if like my best friend died than my significant other, because like significant other it's like you're supposed to move on, it's like we would want you to move on, but then it's like if like your best friend died, it's like what the fuck do you do, especially if you have like like a super successful podcast like the Hero Brew Podcast.
Yeah, which
It's
you
like
should
what
all
am I
follow and
what am I
subscribe.
supposed to do, guys? Like I'm like I don't know what to do anymore, so probably a bad example, but I just had to throw that in there.
Don't die. No one die here, please.
cool. Just wrapping it up, just because this one's kind of been a little long, but like we're still making great on time compared to usual. But I have one last question for you guys. This one is kind of tough. Mose, you didn't even get we didn't even talk to you about it, but this is a question that's going to be kind of spicy, right? It's if you had one take that you think that would get you kicked off the podcast immediately for the Avengers movies or the Infinity Saga, what would it be?
Who's starting?
Hold on.
Who's starting? Mose,
I mean,
Mose go
I'm
first.
right-
I want
Moses
our
first?
guests.
Okay.
Yeah, I want our guests to go first. Just because they could get kicked off, we could just boot them.
You could. You literally could.
Okay, Mose, what do you think? Jeremy, go.
Dog.
Yeah, you go first, dude. Come on.
Okay, it's just a personal.
First and last time on the pod.
It's been real.
He's gonna bring up Guardians, bro. He's gonna bring up Guardians 1 being the best
Moses,
ever.
you're
or
supposed
something.
to be thinking.
Yeah, Moses.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It's a hot take.
Yeah, I want to hear
I
it.
don't know if people agree with me or not, but I think when in the Endgame final battle,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, bro, I can already see Max's eyes squinting at me. It's gonna,
No, I was...
bro. In the Endgame final battle, I had one problem with it. It was the big bad. Everyone was getting taken. Everyone was getting attacked. Everyone was getting, it was looking dark. It was looking bad. And then Carol Danvers just flies through the fucking ship and knocks it all out. That made me hella mad. I'm not gonna lie. Hot take. I wish that didn't happen. I wish she would have showed up. I wish she would have been in the final battle. But I get it. Captain Marvel's badass. I get it. Captain Marvel's so cool. All this stuff and everything like that. But it's
OP Captain Marvel. Yeah, I get it.
OP Captain Marvel. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
Mm.
And
Okay.
if this is me getting removed, guys, it's been real.
Oh, you can stay.
I mean,
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
That wasn't that bad, dude. That was fine.
I just didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie to you. It kind of, and also the shawarma scene's the best scene in the Infinity Saga. So
Okay. You think that?
I'm just kidding. I was kidding.
You said the shawarma scene?
Yeah, it's shawarma scene. I was kidding.
That's crazy.
Come and get your love, you know.
Moses, you ready? You got one?
I'm gonna just say y'all hate on the trilogy that is Iron Man trilogy, and I'm gonna just say it's not that bad. I'd say Iron Man 3 villain is just as good. I know Max hates oh man, you don't really like it. They did what's his name really badly.
The Mandarin?
Mandarin, yeah. They were oh, he did him so dirty and blah blah blah.
You said he wasn't that bad?
Bro, are you kidding me?
No,
when he went to the bathroom or
Oh, don't go
it
in
wasn't
there.
that bad.
Don't
It
go in there.
wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad of a movie. It wasn't that I'd say the trilogy that is Iron Man.
And your first point was the villain wasn't that bad? That's what did it for you? The villain.
The Mandarin also made me mad.
No, I'm just saying the trilogy. I'd say it's just not as good as Cap trilogy, but maybe 2 or 3. Maybe tier 3. It's right there. It can go up there, you know.
So wait.
What is your hot take? What is it? What are you saying?
I'm saying that Iron Man.
So are you saying that you think the Iron Man trilogy
is better than what?
Because when I went to your house in Kansas, you were like, "Ooh, don't even put Iron Man. Don't even put Iron Man 2."
Yo, wait a minute.
Okay, no one say where
Kansas.
I live.
He's don't even. I was trying to put on Iron Man 2 because we had just finished Iron Man 1. He was like, "Give me that remote. Don't put Iron Man 2 on. That shit trash." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "What? Why are you hating on Iron Man 2? Mickey Rourke."
I like the War Machine. I like the introduction of War Machine in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, introduction of War Machine.
And we got what's his face as
Mickey Rourke?
No, we got what's his face. We got Don Cheadle. No, I like that part.
Next time.
They could have just ended the movie right
But
there.
Iron Man 3, good Christmas movie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was
Iron Man
fun.
3 is a great Christmas movie with a horrible villain.
It was a good Christmas, horrible villain, worst villain of the Iron Man trilogy.
Legit.
I don't think that was your first the Iron Man 3 villain wasn't that bad. That's your first defense.
Oh, no.
The Mandarin wasn't even the Mandarin. The fake Mandarin wasn't even the fake Mandarin. There was 3 different Mandarins.
Yeah.
And
There's
a circle.
2.5 Mandarins in the MCU, right?
No, there's 3. There's technically 3.
There's 3.
But I mean, the two that were
There's the actor and then the 2 Mandos, or right?
Mando.
Yeah, but I mean,
Pedro
Bro.
Pascal?
Mandalorian?
Not Mandalorian. What's his name? Y'all are confusing me, bro.
Grogu.
Grogu.
I have Grogu back here. But
Is she?
there was
Bro
like
came
two
with
and a half. There's
evidence
like
against Max.
That's crazy.
Plot
Plot
twist,
twist,
Moses.
This is the
Moses.
Mandarin.
Moses, you can literally be like, "Yeah, I'm the Mandarin, guys. Don't worry." I'd be like,
okay.
they
yeah, okay.
they pay
Well,
me.
yeah, that's. I wouldn't say that's like an extremely hot take. I think that's just a stupid take. I wouldn't say it's a hot take.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
He
cap.
said, all right.
Hey, I support you though. I support you, and you know what? The Iron Man trilogy wasn't bad. It just wasn't the best.
Yeah, Guardians was the best.
It was definitely the worst, but it just wasn't the best. You know,
Yeah.
there's no trilogy that's worse than that. Ant-Man trilogy.
Oh,
Nah.
Ant-Man 1 and 2 were goated, dude.
Hey,
Ant-Man 1 and 2
Wasp
was
was fire.
goated. Yeah, Ant-Man the Wasp was a great movie.
The first Ant-Man boss, like the final battle, is phenomenal.
The
Yeah.
Wasp?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
the Wasp?
Yellow-
Even though,
Yellow
like,
Jacket,
Ant-Man... Yellow Jacket, sorry. Even though Yellow Jacket turned, like, that's
When the
Hank
train,
Pym's alter ego in
when
the
the
comics.
train's going at him,
don't talk about MODOK.
Dude, he's so bald. Like, he's so bald in the first movie. He's so good.
and then he becomes MODOK.
Oh,
See his little butt cheeks in the movie.
Yeah, I still think those are better than the Iron Man trilogy. Iron Man 1 is goated. Iron Man 1 is some of my top 3
Iron Man 1's a
favorite
9.5.
movies. Yeah.
Iron Man 3 is 0. No, I'm just kidding.
Gosh, okay. Well, that was fun, Moses.
Hey, Max.
Cameron, let's hear yours since you were ready from the
I
get-go.
don't really think mine's a hot take. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in the
I had a
same
hard
boat.
time thinking, but I was like, you know what?
There's no way mine could be the hottest
I'm
take
like-
of this,
I'm
dude.
like,
There's
you know
no
what?
way.
That might be.
I think it was very uncharacteristic of Steve to stay back in the past with Peggy and leaving Sam and Bucky.
You
I
said
don't
what?
think that's. I said it was very uncharacteristic of Steve to stay in the past with Peggy and leave
Huh?
Sam and Bucky. Dude, he literally tells Bucky, "I'm with you till the end of the line."
That was, yeah, he
That was the
reached
end of
the
the
line.
line.
He was
That
retired.
That was done.
He was
I
done.
don't-
He was like,
line.
I
end
know.
of the line.
That
Yeah,
was
this is
it.
the
I
end.
don't know.
This is it. This is the end of
His
the line.
arc
I'm
was
done.
over. His arc was done.
I'm done serving.
You know what else has happened since then?
I don't care.
Not his problem. He's not Captain America. He passed it. He's like, hey, this is the end of the line. End of watch. You know what I'm saying?
He's done.
And
I'm
He
done.
got, he got his final dance. He
think-
got his final dance.
I know he wanted that, but I don't think. I don't know. I think he should have stayed, and it was very uncharacteristic of
stayed in
how
what?
he is as a person and as a character. I don't think that's like him.
I wish Bucky would have told him.
Bro, he's like 120 years
You know what?
old. Let him have his
Austin agrees
deal.
with me, so that's all I care about.
Nah, bro.
It's a rushed ending for Cap.
That's
Paige,
Cap.
stop it.
No,
This is
he
bias.
literally
And
promised Peggy-
Paige.
He
It's
promised
a
This
rush
Peggy a
is-
date
dance.
for Cap.
Peggy's gone. Are we
Yeah.
gonna ignore that?
Sorry, my
He
fault.
literally watched her die, but
I'm just saying, no. Cap knew. All
Yeah,
right? Cap
Cap
was
knew.
the man that she was married to the whole time.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay?
He
Facts.
was at the funeral. He's at the funeral.
We're gonna, like, he knew what he was doing. He
Yeah.
showed up at the perfect time on the bench after he just disappeared.
Yeah.
He was
come on,
like-
bro.
He was
Hello?
sitting there with the shield. He was like, I've been holding this for a while.
Yeah.
Imagine he got his weeks wrong. He's been there for like 3 weeks. He's
oh
like,
my god.
Hey, I wouldn't put that.
Wait,
He's
He's
waiting for the
He
bus. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, the bus isn't here
doesn't
yet."
know who he is anymore.
can we
Yeah,
get
he's
that
like,
I'm
storyline?
Iron Man.
You know, he didn't want to talk about it. He was like, you know, Bucky or Sam was like, do you want to talk about what happened? I'd rather not. You know, I'd rather
I don't
just
think
like,
so.
no, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm going to call this out. Sloppy writing with that ending, to be honest.
Nah, bro.
Whoa,
Look, hear me out.
hot take.
Hear me out. It was Cap always wanted to go back. Cap wanted to be with
What?
Peggy from the first, like after the end scene, you know, like the
Yes.
first end credit scene. He wanted to be with Peggy the whole time. Cameron, if you were in that situation, okay, I'm gonna put you on blast. And Paige was Peggy, you would be there.
Yeah.
Without it, you'd be
Yeah.
like, you know what, my time's done real quick. I'm gonna
Done.
decide to stay here. No, and
Right.
and Peggy, by the way, you have to realize he saw Peggy like hella old, right? But when he went to go drop off the Infinity Stone, he was like, wait a minute,
Wait a sec.
wait a
He
minute,
said, wait a sec.
wait a minute.
Wait a sec.
See, do you see this? Do you see this? I do have a point. Okay,
yeah.
I'm right. Without a doubt. Okay?
I don't know how anyone could ever disagree with that ending because he literally told Peggy, "Save me a dance."
He's been wanting to go back.
yeah.
He was saying, like, even in Captain America the Winter Soldier, the main thing was, hey, Steve has to move on, and he didn't want to. He never did. He literally says, like, I don't know where I fit. This isn't my time. Like, he literally said, he's like, I don't know what to do. You know, he was lost the whole time. When he was Nomad, lost the whole time. Honestly, he was probably a virgin the whole time.
Bro's
You
from
know what
the
I'm saying?
40s.
And then he went back and he saw Peggy and he was like, yo, she looks way better than she did when she was old. You know? And he was like, I'm
And
going
in
to
the
stay
box.
here.
Hey,
In the box.
man.
Austin.
The box when she's
He
in
said
dead in
what
the box?
Yeah.
He's like, and she's dead
In the
in
coffin.
the coffin.
He's like, damn, she's alive.
No,
Okay,
no,
so
no,
you-
no,
Hot
no,
take. Hot take. No way. Okay, I'm just ignoring. I'm ignoring
Dude,
her from
Are
now
you
on.
okay, bro?
Natasha?
Dude,
What?
with no,
No.
dude, Natasha was a little sleut.
Just 'cause
Okay,
they were in the car for like a minute doesn't mean like wow
they
have
did.
like
They
chemistry.
did a
Like,
fake
what?
kiss. No one cares.
They
Yeah.
were
That didn't count.
besties, bro. They were
They-
besties.
I will
bro.
say they did have a pretty good relationship, I think.
Like a brother's.
Yeah,
whatever.
Platonic.
Brother,
Sister.
No,
sister.
Platonic.
not
Not a brother sister.
Not brother sister.
You don't make out with your sister. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Not brother,
gonna
sister.
lie.
It's like a little weird. You know what I'm
My
saying?
bad.
It's like, you know, it's like
I
They're
don't.
homies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
No,
cool.
Peggy.
Let's
I
just-
mean,
They-
no, Peggy's definitely
They're work homies.
Peggy's
is
Peggy.
one. But I mean, again, it's a hot take. I didn't know. I had a hard time coming up with something. I think
Well,
it
that was good. I think that was good. It was good. It was a good hot take.
uncharacteristic of
We're-
him.
That was way better
but-
than mine.
What
Yeah,
happened?
I
What
get it.
happened.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, oh, he shouldn't have absolutely done that, but it is what it is.
Man.
Okay, Cap does kiss Sharon Carter. Okay, hear me out. Wait a minute.
And he enjoyed it too.
Look,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
his blood. That's not his. That's what Peggy's niece.
it's
great
Peggy's
niece
niece,
or something?
but
Peggy's great niece.
no,
not even-
actual niece, not great.
Yeah, not
niece.
even like
But-
blood. There's no blood in between.
But
You know,
you're
it's
saying
like
you're saying Cap was there the whole time though.
he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, bloodline, bro.
He knew
Bloodline.
he was a dog.
Bloodline.
He was a dog. You know, and like, yeah. But Austin, let's move subjects. Move topics. Austin, what's your hot take? That was a good hot take, Cameron.
Yeah,
Kudos to you, dude.
I like
So
that.
I mean, we thinking about it more. I mean, I kind of had like a hot take earlier, but we kind of rebuted it because I thought I was gonna be on an island with the Age of Ultron take about it being a better movie than Avengers 1. Glad to see that I wasn't alone. But
Yeah,
I
Age of
think-
Ultron underrated.
Very.
Yeah, Age of Ultron.
Most underrated.
I don't know.
Some crazy.
I guess my second one that I get, it's not really a hot take. I mean, it's kind of here or there. I think the Hulk in the Avengers movies is probably one of my least favorite characters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a hot take.
I think that's a good take. I think it's
I
good.
think
I
that's-
think most of us would agree. Like,
Blame you.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you see him in Infinity War, and it opens with him like, oh shoot, like damn, Thanos is getting whooped, and then
completely agree.
flips the
Well,
switch.
and especially in like Avengers 1, you have him like, you get the emotional depth of that character. You
Right.
get that he tried taking his own life. He tried shooting himself
Right,
directly in the mouth,
Mhm.
you know?
right,
And he said the other guy just came out and spit it back out.
right.
You know,
That's-
you had that. So like,
that's
but you
horror,
didn't
though.
have that for Age of Ultron, really. I
Right.
mean, yeah, you showed that like they
Well,
set up
Natasha a
Thor
little bit.
Ragnarok and stuff, and they kind of showed up like, you know, he in the second one he was like, you know, I can't be with you, Natasha, because of this. Like, I can't have a family with you. And then Natasha goes, I can't have babies anyway. Yada yada. Like
Right.
that was tough.
Yeah.
But like really after that scene, you don't really get a lot of the Hulk. You really don't. And I think they
No.
downplayed his emotional depth in Ragnarok a lot.
Yeah.
And then
Making him smart Hulk ruined it. Like
yeah, and making him just a wussy, like he was scared to come out
Yeah.
as Hulk, and like it kind of goes against all of Hulk's like original powers, where it's like the angrier he gets,
And
Yeah.
the stronger he is.
and then
he
you
gets-
even have the
Sorry, go ahead. You're good.
you even have the side of like with Banner when he gets into the Hulkbuster suit, like he doesn't know he's supposed to be this genius, bro, and he doesn't know like what to do in that situation. Like he falls,
Yeah.
I think, within the first like 10 seconds. I mean, I get it. It's high tech. It might not be his area of expertise, like he says in Endgame,
Yeah,
but you know, it's functioning a robot, which he's worked with Tony on certain things before. It's not.
no, yeah,
Yeah, it just frustrates me. Like, I hope that we get a better Hulk project, and I'm banking on that's the case down the road. On that note, glad to see that he got cast in Brand New Day. I'm really excited to see what happens.
mm-hmm.
I agree.
I want Rage Hulk back. I think that Rage Hulk in the first few movies was like the most exciting parts of it for him.
The Avengers one scene when he first transforms on
Right.
the helicarrier.
Right.
Come on, dude.
exactly.
That was like
Right.
Yeah, that was when Natasha's running, and then just out of nowhere, you fully get Hulk, and he's just running through pissed, you know?
Yeah.
So
Mark Ruffalo, bro.
yeah,
That's my
no, I agree.
my lukewarm ice cold
Your
take.
lukewarm take. Yeah, I agree with it.
Hey, yeah, I like it. Oh, mama, this is the big one, huh?
No, it's not that big either. But I mean, it's just like mine. For instance, it was a scene in Endgame. It kind of had something to do with you, Jeremy. I did not get the whole girl Avengers. I'm not saying I have a problem with any of those. It already started. I have a problem with any of those, like the women there, because it showed like them strong. But it's like it was just it was almost insignificant to me. Like you had the Wasp there. I think Wasp was actually out in front. And I don't know if it was just a direct reflection on like the comics or like the old TV shows, like where she's like a founding member of the Avengers and all that stuff. But it's just that scene didn't do anything for me. I thought it was like in the theater. I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, that was stupid. Like they like, you know, like you have Valkyrie on a horse. You know, I'm like, I just didn't get it. Like you have Wanda. Wanda's dope. Like Wanda was good in Endgame, you know, but I got more attached to her in WandaVision and stuff. And I'm like, you have Captain Marvel going through the ship. What?
You're not for women's equality, bro? Like
I am for women's equality. I think in Ant-Man and the Wasp, the reason that movie was so good was because of the Wasp. Easily. There's no doubt about it. I think she's the best character there. I think they should have utilized her a lot more throughout the whole series. Oh, I got a wow.
Nah,
but
I agree with you, bro. I think
to me it was almost like pointless. I didn't get it. I didn't like their anything that, like, the only person I liked in that whole Endgame scene was literally Wanda the whole time. Like I'm like, okay, Wanda's cool. But like everyone else, I'm like, I didn't like the whole hey Peter Parker. Like I didn't like that. I just thought it was kind of like, I'm like,
you think it was like all forced. You're just trying to say it was like all forced.
Yes.
I understand that.
it was forced. I think it was forced. I was just like, yeah, like Paige, thank you for agreeing. It was a bit forced. Took away from the real fight. It did. It was kind of it was so weird. It's like
Also,
they're all fighting. Oh, let me just grab the girls together real quick.
Yeah,
and just,
you're telling me all the females are right there in that exact moment together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
like I would have loved, like, dude, if they did like fight scenes like they did like when Ant-Man and the Wasp were fighting, like they were like, you know, coordinating their moves. I thought that was dope. Like Ant-Man would get bigger and then she would get smaller and stuff. And I'm like, that was freaking sick. That, like, I think that movie's super underrated. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think it's one of the best MCU projects that they put out.
It was really good.
At least one of the best sequels they ever put out. And so it's like, to me, and like, you have Captain Marvel being the most overpowered character. Hated her in Captain Marvel 1. I think she redeemed herself a lot in the Marvels. I thought she was easily my favorite part of that movie. And if she was like that the whole time, I would have been like, okay. She kind of got like that when she said, like, oh, hey, Peter Parker. I'm like, that like emotion was kind of, yeah, it was just weird. It was just weird, the whole thing. And then them just standing together, I'm like, where's everyone else at? Like, you know, it's like
they could have
all the men are on the ground hurt, and all the females are just magically together.
We're getting kicked off. Our podcast is getting canceled. But yeah, it's like,
yeah,
it was that's the moment that I was like, oh, that was stupid.
I think that the shot could have been done differently. I think that it was a cool scene to show, like,
I have to rewatch it. I haven't watched Endgame in like 2 years, but
like, I get it.
It might be better to me now, but like, just from my experience of me watching it,
right? I think
it
they
just
could have
wasn't.
done it.
It was just stupid.
Yeah, they could have done it like, because it starts with like her grabbing the gauntlet from him, right? And they could have just gone like pan to pan to each one of those characters and showing off their unique abilities as it goes on without like the whole intro. I think the intro was a little forced.
It was just a little forced. It was like, why are they all standing together? Like, where are they all, like, why did they all group up to, you know, it's like I said, I get it, but it just didn't make sense to me. I was like,
I
don't think they needed to do that part.
It's cool in perspective. It's cool in perspective, but it's like, I agree with you guys are saying, like, why can't they just pan it to like make it a whole action scene instead of like every single person standing right there? They
could have shown like team up. Like, I'm a big person with like team ups and stuff. I think that it would have been cool if they showed like their powers working off each other, like we see in the Marvels, dude. Like, that's
dope. That Marvel scene, the use of their powers was so freaking sick. I was like, holy crap! Like them like teleporting. They planned it out. I'm like, and they barely had time to plan it out. You know, they're like, oh, this is what we're just gonna do. You know, so it's like I guess they did have like a little montage of them practicing, but it was like super. It was just like I remember being in theaters like, why is that like that's weird? You know, like.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go
like
for it.
Another little small hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the Endgame battle, Okoye, absolute badass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leader of the Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand is she freaking one-shotted Corvus Glaive with her spear. Her spear. Dope. But like in Infinity War, how hard they made it to kill him.
He doesn't see it coming.
He was right in front of her when it happened.
Hey, who knows?
Okoye can do that to any of us.
I mess with the what is it? The
Dora
Milaje.
Yeah, not messing with them. You saw them in freaking Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Ibambe. Imagine I got a spear right here, bro. I got a spear
Shout
right
out
here.
to the old pod.
Austin, didn't you call him Mbappe one time?
No, that was me. That was me. I said Mbappe.
Yeah.
I was like Mbappe. They're like Cameron Austin. Were like, what?
Wait a second, Mbappe.
Yeah, that was
like, that's soccer. Hold on.
Yeah, that was it. That was my hot take. But I don't know. I just feel like it felt like you guys said it. I think it was just a little too forced. Like you have obviously they showed like the 3 OGs against Thanos.
Right.
It felt natural. You know, this one just felt it was just they were all there. It was weird.
Yeah.
It just didn't fit right in the movie.
They could have worked in every single female in a separate shot and kind of given them their glory in a way.
Which I thought they were gonna do. Like I said, the Wanda part when she was messing up Thanos, I was like, Wanda's the strongest character in Marvel. I was like, there's no doubt about it. Like in my head, I'm like, literally Thanos had to kill half of his army by saying like bring down fire, like bring down fire or something. I'm like, or bring down hellfire or whatever.
He was scared, bro. He was scared.
He was so scared. It was the first time you see Thanos really like, oh shit, you know, like I'm about to die.
Yeah, bro. You took everything.
And
away
like they
from
even
me.
said, hey Thanos, you're gonna kill like your army. He was like, just do it. I'm like, dude, this dude is scared for his life, and I thought that was dope. I was like, hell yeah, that's Wanda right there, dude. So, but other than that, do you guys have anything else you want to say before we end it? I think that was a good pod. I think it was.
I got one more hot take.
One more hot take?
One more hot pocket.
Is it about Guardians?
No one wants to hear it, Jeremy.
Guardians 1.
I do.
Stop.
Guardians 1.
Guardians 1 what?
Better.
No.
Okay, cool. That's good.
That's
good
it.
for you. We don't need to finish. Yeah.
It's better than what?
Better than what?
Better than what?
Better
It's
than
better
all
than
of it?
what?
No, I was gonna say Civil War.
That's
Look at
actually
Austin's
good.
face, bro.
Hey, bro, I stand on that hill till I die. Catch
Didn't
me
you
if
also
Wolf-
say? Didn't you also
We
say
just
it was better
watched
than
Civil
Winter
War.
Soldier?
Huh? I take that back though, bro. Because Winter
Okay.
Soldiers, yeah. But it's better.
Man,
Also, I don't know why people be hating on Ronan.
Ronan was a good villain.
Ronan was a good villain.
He was a pawn though too.
He was a pawn, but he was still a good villain.
He got distracted by some dancing, bro.
Hey, me too, bro. Shit, Peter Cole's dancing, bro. Uniqueness. You ever see uniqueness? It doesn't always have to be a hammer to the mouth, Austin Coyle. Dance battle to save the universe, bro.
what is this? Step it up?
Most,
You say step it up?
yeah.
Step it up 3.
And
Actually,
they damn stepped it up, and they held each other, and they went like this.
Yeah.
What was that?
I'm not gonna.
You know when they were holding each other in the line, and they're like,
Should I go grab the power stone and then we can reenact? Okay.
"Hey,
No,
for
we
IRL
already-
podcast, we all just stand in a line, go like this."
No, that's you, dude.
All right,
But no, I appreciate you guys. Just to say goodbye, I want to hear where we can find you guys. Cameron, where can we find you, big dog?
IG Cameron 2428 X Oglesby.
Sick. Moses Cassidy.
What up? Yeah, you can follow me on IG or X, Big Cali Mo 98 on both.
Done deal. Austin Coyle.
As I said before, you can find me on Instagram at AustinCoil23 and on X, formerly known as Twitter, you can find me at AustinCoil23, but you have to add 58, so 2358 is going to be the numbers. Don't ask why. I messed up.
Jeremy.
you can find me on TikTok at chunk.tv, or you can find me on any other platform as Chunky Tuesday, twitch.tv/Chunky Tuesday. And I just want to take a second and say thank you to the boys for allowing Moses and I to join you on your podcast. It's been an honor.
It's an
Everyone
privilege.
needs to subscribe and follow to this podcast because this is only the beginning and they're taking this shit to the moon. So excuse my language, but it's going to
To
go.
the moon.
So subscribe,
Language.
like, follow.
language.
All of it. Thank you, boys, again for having us. For real.
GG.
Thank you for being on. Thank you.
Yeah, you
Shout
could
out Jeremy.
appreciate you guys being on here. It was a blast. Thank you guys for joining.
Shout out.
And then you could find us, or you can find me on Max Aircat on all socials, and then also follow us on YouTube at the Hero Brew Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at the Hero Brew Podcast.
Subscribe
And yeah, thanks for brewing with us, boys.
Ruin.
for
Cheers.